Hey yogis, it's Maud here, and welcome to your Yoga Tune-Up Therapy Balls class for the hips and the buttocks. So that will be sort of our focus area for now. I do have the regular yoga tune-up balls, the small ones, and then the plus, which are a little bit bigger. If you are a bigger person than I am, or you just know you have a lot of mass and surface in the hip area and the buttocks, feel free to grab a big one. Otherwise, I'm going to stick with my small ones. If you do not have the brand, the yoga tune-up therapy balls, and you just want a ball experience, like I say in my other classes, go ahead, grab the smallest balls you have. Perhaps just avoid the bigger balls like the softballs or lacrosse balls, and maybe just stick with tennis balls. They are not going to be as grippy and as pliable as these bad boys, and they really do give. They have a give in the skin and the fabric, especially if you're wearing something cotton, nothing shiny to slip and slide. They're just super effective, and even using them with the tote, which they have now with this net, is very thoughtful because they do have a purpose. So grab your balls. We might actually end up using a block or a pillow today. And the location of the balls, if you kind of just let the balls out of their tote, out of their home, as I call it, you just set those aside. We're gonna place the balls here on our buttock muscles, which are right here, kind of underneath that PSIS right here. We're also gonna be placing the balls in the gluteus medius, which is that side muscle of the glute. We're gonna place it on the trochanter right here, which is like that bony protrusion at the side. And then also in the tensor fascia latae, otherwise known as like the secret gene pocket muscle. And so we're going to place it here as well. So that's going to be our placement for today. And before we start, we do have to have our check, recheck pose. So feel free to sit on your mat or a blanket. What this pose does is that when we do it before a therapy ball experience and after a therapy ball experience, it kind of gives us a before and after picture, like exactly what happened to the body, what type of release did we feel, and what changes are we experiencing because of these therapy balls. So let's get into double pigeon. Some people call this fire log pose, whatever it is. And so just start. I'm trying to mirror you here. So get your left leg in front of you. And then place your right shin in front of the left shin. And this doesn't bother me. I have a good range of motion in my hips. But if you notice that that upper leg is just lifted, you can place something underneath it. But really, the whole point here is to recognize how it feels right now before we do the therapy ball experience. So the point is not to open right now. The point is just to recognize. So it's totally up to you if you want to spend a few more moments here. Hit the pause button if you're feeling this love. And the button in the hips. And then let's alternate. Left shin is in front of us, placing the right shin on top. Ideally, that ankle is on top of the fleshy part of the fleshy part of the bottom thigh. And so you're here in this double pigeon. Just notice how it feels. I know I'll feel a difference here, even though my hips are pretty open. And so, yeah, and then we can get right into our practice here. So we're actually going to get on our backs. And so, like I always do in class, grab the balls, place them where you want to place them. So that way, when you get on your mat, you know where it's at, and then you can just acclimate and acquaint the body with the pressure of the balls. I'm going to set the pillow aside for now. Perhaps you want to. Put the ball there first, and then kind of make your way down on the mat with your legs bent. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, nice job. So make sure they're in your butt and not on your lower back. They're not on your sit bone at the bottom. Just find that fleshy part of your butt. Place them down. And the normal, totally normal human response to this sensation is resistance. I don't want to give in to gravity. I want to lift my body up. This is too much pressure. This is where the breath comes in. So you can relax your hands on the belly or down on the ground, whichever one works. Take some deep breaths right here. Rib cage breath, belly breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Making sure with every exhale that you experience, you let the body acquaint itself with the pressure that's being provided by the balls. This is the handshake experience. The hi, hello, what are you doing here? This is my experience. The piriformis is this muscle that kind of sits underneath the glute, but what sits underneath the piriformis muscle is the sciatic nerve. So for those of us who have experienced sciatica, you know what I'm talking about. But this is a glute waker upper, but it's also to me like a glute declutterer. For those of us who do a lot of glute action at the gym, or even for those of us who just sit down a lot, whichever the case may be. All right. So as we're here, have a little shaky shake in the hips if that feels good to you, while the balls are there kind of in that glute muscle. And then let your arms go. And then send the soles of your feet towards each other and kind of just wing your knees out. Need to adjust my leggings here. And as you wing your knees out, you'll feel sort of a different hug in those balls because now more skin is in the area of the balls, the surface area. Either keeping your eyes closed or just keeping your eyelids heavy, but down regulate the anxiety, your energy level. There's really not a huge thing to achieve here, to accomplish. Stuff is happening in our glute area, and that's probably plenty enough for you to focus on. Just breathe. Inhales and exhales. And let's do a little bit of pelvic tilting here. So for those of you familiar with posteriorly tilting and anteriorly tilting your pelvis, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, tucking your tailbone under is like lengthening your lower back and rolling your pelvis forward and down. So like your tailbone is saying hi to your heels. And then anteriorly tilting is like sending your hips back, a little bit of arch in the spine and that bottom area. What feels comfortable to me is exhaling in the posteriorly tilt, which is that lengthening of the lower back, the tucking of the tailbone under, and inhaling as I anteriorly tilt. But that's my experience. And so if you don't quite feel like that's good for you, or you just feel different, a different breathing exercise, a breathing pattern is in the cards today, then cater to that. Whatever makes you happy. Tilting it forward and back a few more times. And then stop at the center. So now we're going to favor one side from the other. So I'm going to show here on my right side, and so do whatever side you want first. But I'm going to slide my hips to the left so that I'm going to put a lot more weight of the ball that's on the right side. So you can notice here my right hip is opening, my chest remains open, my arms remain relaxed on the ground, and so my facial muscles. Hugging the ball in, a little bit more on that right side. Breathing here. And exhaling out. Now we're going to shift our body, our hips to the right, digging in more into the ball on the left side. If your fingers are tensing, or your jawline, or the areas between your eyebrows, then you're holding unnecessary tension, and you're not going to feel the medicine that is being provided by these balls on our muscles, our fascia, our constitution, whatever it may be. This is so great for days where you just feel like you've sat down for a long time, or that you've done too much a glute workout, you overactive glutes. And back to center. Let's do that one more time. Rock the hips to the left, a bit more hugging of the balls on the right side. Feel free to open up the knee, allow yourself to just fall into gravity. Inhale. And then exhale.
back to center. Make any adjustments with the ball and shift your hips to the right. Focus on the ball that's on the left. Hug the ball in with your skin, the fabric of your leggings, of your pants. Inhale. Hoo-wee. And then exhale back to center. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Lift your hips up. And then remove the balls from underneath. Just place them on the belly. Hit the restart button and pause. All right. So now place the ball kind of in that upper trochanter area, which is that bony protrusion at the side of the upper thigh. So kind of like right here. So just kind of pin it right there because you do want the ball to be there. Remove the ball on your left side. We're going to start here on the right side. Opening up that knee and then lifting your hips up a little bit to really add pressure on that ball as it's right there on that trochanter. Open the arms up to the side. Again, take a few breaths to reacquaint yourself and reacquaint the body, especially that side area, to the pressure of the ball. That left foot can just be on the ground and feel free to open your right knee up. Now, make a circle with this ball on that area. And so what you're going to do, what usually works for me, is I lift my knee up a little bit and do these circular motions as slowly as I can while the ball is there. And the first few circles maybe will feel a little bit awkward, like, am I doing this right? But once you find your rhythm, like I said in my other classes, there's a hallelujah chorus that happens and that takes place. And your body's just waiting to sing, like, thank God you heard me. This is a hips and buttocks class. And your hips and buttocks are going to feel so different after this. You can reverse the direction. Inhales and exhales. And come back to center. One more press. Now, if you want to do that with your knee rested down, you can revisit those circles. And now you're like, okay, I can give in to gravity. I do that knee lifted version first because I want to just get to know what the movement is going to be like. And then this one now is like, okay, I'm giving in to gravity. So notice that difference too. And then slowly, one more press, breathe. And then get on your backs, remove the ball from the side, place it on top of the belly. Just one breath, find your center. And breathe it out. I'm going to shift my body over to the other side so that you can see me the whole time. But again, it's in that trochanter, that bony protrusion, kind of at the side of the upper thigh. Kind of like nudge it there. That's exactly what it needs to be acquainted. And then kind of lift your hips up. That left knee is going to come down. Keep the right foot up. And there's always a side that just feels funny and awkward. And this is just my awkward side. And so relax the upper body. I always tell myself this, like, field goal or goalpost pose or shape in the upper body is like deceiving my body that I'm relaxed. And it definitely gets me there. So again, get acquainted with the pressure that's being provided by the balls. It may not be it may not feel good at the first time, the first few moments. But once you get used to it, and once you're like, oh, that's how it feels, and you breathe through it, let the ball do its magic. Feel free to hit the pause button if you want to experience this longer. Otherwise, let's draw those circles. And so, like I said, I always start with the hips, with my knees lifted, and then drawing those circles, whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise. Again, this is my weird side. So I really, really, really have to breathe through this. Maybe you do too. And if you're like one of those people who are just like hanging out, like nothing much is going on, change something. Perhaps you can grab the bigger ball. Not necessarily the best idea in some cases, but maybe just breathe deeper. Reverse the direction. The size of the circle may differ, right, based on your tolerance. And whenever you're ready, you can stay here with your knees lifted or just plant the knee down. Revisit those circles that you drew before and just notice the difference. Relax the face, the jawline, the space between eyebrows. Again, the upper body is like deceiving the entire body that, you know what, you're just taking a chill pill right here. Some deception in this practice. Deep breaths. Hope you've reversed your circle. Hallelujah chorus. If you want to experience this longer, hit the pause button. Otherwise, one breath in and out. And that's good for me. Oh, if you're like me, you felt this resonate down your leg and it's just like electricity, which reminds us everything's connected. Grab the ball on your left side, lay on your back, place the ball on your belly, pause, reset, neutralize. All right, now we're going to get into our gluteus medius. So grab your other ball. And this is where I'd like you to sit up first and actually grab either a block or the blanket or a pillow to rest underneath your head. The gluteus medius is the side muscle or the side part of the whole gluteus family. So find that fleshy part on the side here. We're actually going to set the ball side by side horizontally instead of vertically. So if you were to stand up and lift your leg to the side, this is going to be the part that feels a little bit compressed, which is the gluteus medius. So find that there. We're going to start on our left side here. So already placing them down like sisters. And then kind of lifting your hips up. And then finding that fleshy side part of the glute. You can start here by bending your legs. I definitely feel like this is a friendlier entrance into this experience. Make any adjustments you have. And then this left arm can rest underneath your head. They can rest in front of you. It doesn't really matter. And so settle in, acclimate with the balls, the pressure of the balls. And then once you're ready right there, maybe having a little bit of sway, snuggling in, then you can lengthen your left leg and then place your right foot behind it, lifting your right knee up towards the ceiling. So you can rest your right hand down if you want, but right here, just acquaint yourself with this type of pressure. And breathe through this space. Now let's do some flexing and pointing of the toes here in that left side. Notice how that changes the experience in your glute med. Once you're doing that a couple of times, relax your left foot, but then press it down on the mat. And that wakes up the left glute. So notice as you press your left foot down, it just wakes up this muscle because everything's connected. And then relax. So we're doing a contract, relax experience here. Press the left foot down, the left glute, the gluteus medius wakes up. Press it. Again, contract and relax is what we call this. Do this a few more times. Again, if you like to experience this longer, then hit the pause button and do this for as long as you want. Maybe not too long, though. All right. One more. Pressing it down, relaxing. And then I like to place my hand on the lower belly or the pelvic area for this next one, even the hips, because we're going to do posterior and anterior tilts in our pelvis. So let's do posterior tilt first. So lengthen your tailbone towards the back heel, that right heel, like you're almost like lengthening your lower back and tucking your tailbone under. And then anteriorly tilting is the opposite direction where you have that little arch in the spine on that lower back. Posteriorly tilting, tucking the tailbone under, pointing the tailbone towards the back heel in that direction, and then going the opposite direction for that anterior tilt. If you'd rather just do posterior tilt and then relax, that's fine too. Otherwise, let's do one or two more. Just tilting that pelvis. Nice job. Come to center. For this one, I want you guys to place your right hand down or maybe your right fingertips. We're actually going to lift our left leg up. And so it's a little bit of a up or down motion. So as we lift our left leg up, you'll notice you rolling the body down, which rolls the balls up a little bit, and then slowly lower. Inhale, lifting up the leg. Again, if you'd rather do that on a different breath pattern, if it's an exhale, then you do you. What feels good to me is that I inhale as I lift up, exhale as I go down. Again, there's a rolling up and down motion just as a reaction of this. One more time. And then slowly back to center. Beautiful. All right, place your right hand down, bend the legs, and use it to push yourself up because we're going to get to the other side. Notice the difference between the left and right hips. I'm actually just going to switch and pivot over to this side so you can see me the whole time. I'm going to switch where the blanket is at. Again, sit down, locate the gluteus medius, fleshy side muscle, and then set them side by side horizontally. Oof, I'm already there. And again, upper body, this right arm can rest wherever you want it to rest, underneath the head or just in front of you. Bent legs is a friendlier entrance to this experience. At least as many times as I've done this, it's just easier to get into it and to acclimate with the balls with the legs bent first. And then whenever you're ready, straighten that right leg. Left foot is behind you. Get acquainted. Give in to gravity. There's a huge sense of surrender that's required here. And so let's get into that flex point of the right foot this time. And notice what difference that provides into your experience here. Once you're done doing that, then you can press your right foot down, which wakes up the glute med. Oh my God, that feels so good. Contract. And then relax. Press the right foot down more, contracting the right glute, and then relax. Contract, pressing it down, relax. Perhaps one or two more times. We definitely do not want to spend too much time here. Nice job. Now place your left hand on your lower belly or the hips. This is a pelvic tilt experience, right? So again, tucking your tailbone under, posteriorly tilting that pelvis. You're kind of like lengthening that lower back. And then go the opposite direction, a bit of arching in the spine. Again, if you just want to do posterior tilt and then relaxing, that's fine too. Without the breath, this experience will be a little bit different. It won't feel as yummy and it won't be as productive. One more time. And then let go. Place your left hand down. Lift your right leg up. We're going to do that lifting motions as you lift up. It brings the balls a little bit higher because the body kind of rolls down a little bit. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Ooh, exhale, lower. Again, if your breath pattern is different, then cater to what feels good to you. Do that a few more times if you want. I'm going to do this one last time. Oh, and then lower. Oh my God, that feels so good. Okay, bend the legs, just lift the hips up, remove the balls from underneath you, and then lie on your backs. For our last hurrah right here, just place the balls on your belly, and then restart, recheck. All right. Now we're going to get into our TFL, our tensor fascia lata. So sit yourself up. Let's just stay here on the right side since we're already here. So the tensor fascia lata is going to be located in that front small pocket of the jeans. So it's kind of like right here. But this time I want you to set your balls vertically, so one on top of the other instead of horizontally like we were before. So locate that. Just imagine your front jean pocket. That's where it's going to be because this class is glutes and hips, right? And so find it there first and then cross your left foot in front of the right. You can straighten your right leg a little bit more. You can lift your hips up and then, place the balls in that area. Oh my God, I'm already finding it. This is the type of experience I have where I kind of just want to call out to my mama who is in heaven. And then send your right elbow or so right forearm down, your right elbow down, and just feel that support first. Feel like this is a safe experience to have. Because, like I said, this is not necessarily pleasant, but get acquainted with the weight of your body down towards the balls. You can even kind of snuggle in a little bit deeper. Hi, hello, handshake, good morning. And as your right arm is down, forearm is down, place your left hand down and like roll your upper body down towards the mat. So you'll notice as you roll down, you're kind of adding more weight into the balls. Just let your body weight do the magic. And then your right foot is going to kind of flex and point like we did before. Notice what that does to the pressure of that area, the TFL muscles, the tensor fascia lata, on top of the balls. Just flexing and pointing, no big movements here. One more time, flexing and pointing. And as you're here, let's get back into that motion where we kind of rolled our upper body down towards the mat and then slowly push yourself back up. Rolling down, chest closer to the mat and then rolling back up. Notice the kind of pressure it's providing to your body as you change shapes, change orientation of the upper body. Do that one more time, just rolling forward and back. And then just breathing through the space. Let the neck go. Breathing in and out. Beautiful. All right. Now, let's get into that other side. Again, they're going to be vertically placed, one on top of the other. You can place your blanket, your block, whatever it is, on the other side. This is the tensor fascia lata, front jean pocket. One ball on top of the other. Again, knowing where it's at. Crossing the right foot in front of the left leg. You can straighten the left leg a little bit, any amount. Oof, and then you're there. Wow. So it's not really to the sides, kind of in the front, right? Because you're in that jean pocket area. Again, good morning. Do that little handshake. Breathe, breathe, breathe. This is what it feels like. And the left forearm is down. Right hand can be in front of you. And start to roll the body forward. Just getting acquainted with that weight and then roll it up. Let's do the flexing and pointing of the foot first. As you're here, notice the difference. When you flex the foot and when you point the foot, there's just a difference in the weight and a difference in the experience that happens in that area. And the balls are there. They're constants, right? I mean, they're kind of moving and wiggling a little bit. But they tell you, okay, the more you do this, the more I'm going to get acquainted to this. So you just have to breathe through that process. You have to like go through like the ooh and ah parts of it before you get to the ooh and ah parts of it. All right. The right hand is down. Roll the upper body down and forward. And then lift yourself up, roll up and back. Keep going with that motion. I feel like this side tends to not feel as much as my right side. And that's okay. That's always been the case. So maybe you'll feel like, oh, this is no big deal. I'm kind of just chilling here. But just know plenty of stuff is still happening because the ball is giving feedback to your muscles, to the fascia. Perhaps you've become a better breather. One more time, just forward and back. There are plenty of things that we could do as we're here, but this kind of gives you a preview of what can be done. Oh my gosh, feels really good. You can roll your body back, remove the balls, and then gently lift yourself up. All right. Now we're going to get in our recheck pose, which is that double pigeon, starting with the left shin underneath and the right shin on top. I mean, huge difference. Just a little bit more or a lot more allowance on the hips. I feel like my buttocks are breathing and they just feel like they're broadening and just, I guess, fluffy is the word. Hands can be down on your shins and just take a couple of breaths here, just saying thank you to that experience. Acknowledging this rotation that's happening in the hips, super lovely experience. And if this upper leg is still lifted a little bit, you can place something between the limbs, between your legs. But I can say safely that there is a big opening and a big change happening in your hips because of the therapy balls. Feel free to switch the legs. Right shin is in front, left shin is on top. Notice the difference here. Again, if you want a longer experience, hit the pause button. Just grab your blanket or your pillow and just place it between your limbs and enjoy. All right. Thank you guys so much. If you could just lift your arms up overhead. Palms connect, hands to heart center. Let's close the eyes. Put a pair of lungs in our hips and our buttocks. Inhale. And then exhale. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope you had a great practice. I hope your hips and your buttocks can breathe a little bit more. Thank you so much. Namaste. See you next time. Take care and bye for now.